Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI Podcast. It is Wednesday night. Decided not to do one last night just because of Halloween, so we could go out and hang out with the kids, do the Halloween thing. But we are live tonight, and we are going to be talking some news. We've got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. He's going to be coming on to do a top 3, give his input on the news, do a deep dive with us. So, got a full show tonight, just on a different night, so stay tuned. This is DPI Live. Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on? Matt with the DPI Podcast. It is Wednesday night, November the 1st. We have got some bitrate issues tonight, and we're going to have all kinds of fun. We don't change things over quite as fast as Disney does, so we're waiting on Peter to get the camera up, and we still have the Halloween ad during the top 3 when you hang around for that tonight. So we do got quite a bit of news. Couple of really big items kind of hit today, so we're going to go over that. A couple of big acquisitions, one on the Disney side, one outside the Disney realm. And then we got some news from around the world, a couple things going on with Tokyo Disney and that kind of stuff. So as soon as Peter gets up and going over there, we will get him on. While he's working on that, there's at least a face. Go over to the YouTube page. If you are not a YouTube subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out quite a bit. We're trying to get to 500 by the end of the year. We're coming up on 400 right now, so need about 100 subscribers to get there. Would love for you to hit that subscribe button. Check out some of our content. Let us know what you think. Let us know if we can help you with anything. That's why we kind of do this. Are the police at your house?
Deciding what light I want. That was pretty good, right? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that one's fine.
Yeah. All right. We'll go.
All right. So Peter with Princesses of the Mouse is ready. Let me go ahead and bring him on. Mr. Salvadori, how you doing tonight?
Good. Sorry, I was finishing up with a client. I have 5 clients going to Disney in January, and so November is going to be a busy month. So
dining.
Exactly. Yeah. Every week, I'm currently working on setting up the pre-dining appointment, and then I've got a bunch of different days where I'm going to be on at 6 a.m. booking stuff, and so I was just finishing up with a client who is surprising their high school seniors with an end of winter break trip heading into their final semester of high school.
There you go.
With a little Disney stuff. So
nice.
Was just chatting with them and went, oh my gosh, it's 7 o'clock. Anyway, I'll book your stuff. I'll see you later. Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's put 15 minutes on the timer, and let's talk a little news tonight. So at the end of last week, there was a news story that came out of the Orlando Sentinel about this Central Florida Tourism Oversight District and kind of what's going on, and they are saying that employees are quitting in mass, and it's almost to the point where the tourism district, it cannot be functional the way that it is structured. In exit surveys, there were the words unqualified and incompetent when it came to the leadership of the Central Florida Tourism District. Explain exactly what this tourism district does, and for a lot of people, what Reedy Creek used to do.
So, in terms of the tourism district, what you're talking about there is, like, essentially there's this organization, this body, whatever word you want to use for it. But essentially what they do is they're overseeing the touristy part of Orlando, right? So when you think about that, we've got SeaWorld, we've got Universal, and of course, and most notably, obviously, for the show that we do, we've got Disney. And so this organization body is just supposed to, like, help ensure that, like, fair trade practices are going on, and that it's competition versus monopoly, and even help with little things like securing infrastructure deals and utility management services, and just, like, obviously those locations that I just said, SeaWorld, Universal, and Disney, in addition to many others, like, that's not all of them.
Yeah.
But let's say those three most notably are ridiculously important to the Central Florida economy.
Yeah.
Like, if any one of those three were to go, SeaWorld, yes, but, like, probably Universal and Disney more so. If any of those were to go and just leave Central Florida, holy cow, you would have a massive detriment to the entire Orlando economy area.
Well, I mean, when you talk about the economy, I mean, these parks, they employ tens of thousands of people in the area, and not just directly through the parks, but also through the secondary businesses that supply food and stuff to the parks as well. So, it's a huge deal. And basically what happened was when the whole DeSantis school bill came down and Disney decided that they wanted to get involved in it, this new district was formed. So it used to be Reedy Creek district, which basically governed like you would a small township. And then now you've got the Central Florida Oversight District, Tourism Oversight District, and it was all hand-appointed people by DeSantis, and there's been a lot of stuff that has come out on the bad side with this group of people. And in the end, you would think that the governor of Florida wouldn't want to run probably the number one money-making tax district into the ground, but that's exactly what it looks like right now. So
and over 30 employees in this district have quit. I was reading something that said that those 30 employees have over 350 years of experience, which means that these 30 employees aren't just, like, transient employees. They've all been there at their jobs for, like, 15 years, 10 plus years for sure. And basically what is this big news break that Matt's talking about is all of these employees are saying it's in shambles. There's no leadership. These people are unqualified to be making these decisions. And so that has left them and their jobs almost undoable. So, like I said, it's not like, oh, I was here a year ago and it's turned south. No, these are people that have been here for over a decade now going, this is an inhospitable environment. And a lot of people are pointing fingers at the fact that, well, these are the hand-selected people that DeSantis, like, infiltrated, for lack of a better word, the organization with, right?
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It sucks because it's one of those things you want to see it strong, you want to see it running smooth, and it sounds like it's everything but right now. So, maybe something to look at.
I worry about that. Just a break topic on that, and apologies for the jump in here, but like Universal is building Epic Universe right now. This is not a great. Now, granted, this podcast is about Disney, but of course, I mean, I've been to Universal twice in the last year as well, because I'll sneak over there for a day here and there. But this is not what Central Florida needs at a time where, like, if anything, Universal is dumping money into this property. And also on the Disney side of things, we've basically heard nothing but for the last 3 to 6 months that, hey, we're doubling down on our park experience. Our park experience is ridiculously crucial to our company. Where other areas are coming red, parks are posting strong in the black, like parks, city parks. So yeah, this is definitely not what we're looking for with everything, of course, else going on. So anyway, let you wrap that up, obviously. But apologies for interjecting. But
no, you're
I'm
good.
just
You're
thinking
good.
about what's going on, capital gain project going on.
Let's go over to Disneyland real quick. Disneyland confirmed Tale of the Lion King will end its run at Fantasyland Theater and Disneyland Park with its final performance on January 7th of 2024. Nothing has been announced to go back into that theater as of yet, so we'll be looking for that. This is kind of a mix between the Festival of the Lion King that's at Disney World and then the production that is Rhythm of the Pride Lands in Paris. So it is kind of like a mix, almost like a street performance of the Lion King show. Thunderbirds flew over Walt Disney World on Monday. Really cool pictures, video from the parks. You can check out a lot of different Twitter. The Thunderbirds, the U.S. Air Force released in-cockpit video as well. Disney Monorail Yellow was stuck on the tracks yesterday. Completely closed the Epcot line for, it seemed like most of the day. It had a flat tire is what it ended up being. So, again, that's one of those things that tourism district, they're going to be over all the inspections and everything like that. So, something that we got to watch. Magic Key holders can get a first look at Adventureland Treehouse at Disneyland Park during a preview on November 9th, one day before it officially opens. Preview will be from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Big refresh of the Treehouse out there. It's going to be really cool. Excited to see that when we go out there. Tokyo Disney Resort announces Disney Palapalooza, a new series of events in 2024. All about having a blast with your pals. The first one is going to be Minnie's Funderland from January 10th to March 19th. It's going to feature a new parade, plaza decorations, a large bow monument at World Bazaar, and more. So a lot of things going on over at Tokyo. Asha started meeting guests from Wish over at Epcot today. So that was a big thing. It is only the second character, well, third technically, but the second movie that they've allowed meet and greets with a character before the movie has released. Do you know what the other one was? Kind of give you a big hint on the numbers.
No.
Frozen. Anna and Elsa were meeting with guests 2 weeks before Frozen opened. Big acquisition news.
You could have given me a while to guess, and I probably wouldn't have landed on Anna and Elsa.
Big acquisition news. So first, let's stay within the Disney realm. Disney is buying the rest of Hulu. So,
Yep.
Comcast had owned a percentage of Hulu for a long time. Disney is making a fair market bid to purchase the rest of Hulu from Comcast to where they will be 100% the sole owner of the property. To me, that says that they would be able to... Well, they're going to raise the price on Disney Plus because they're going to have to spend money on it. But in the end, it's going to save them money on production and rights and that kind of stuff, I think. So...
Yeah, and it'll also, like, already you can bundle Hulu and Disney Plus into a monthly subscription. And so this will, it just kind of like finishes Disney's TV markets, being able, because now they'll have their Disney property, they'll have their streaming platform for live content. So it does make sense. It's not a surprise, and the writing's kind of on the wall because the Hulu stuff has been, I don't know, like pushed in a different way lately.
Yeah,
I realized.
Yeah,
through the Disney stuff.
And I think that it also kind of paves the way for Disney to get rid of ESPN. They're trying to find a buyer for ESPN right now. I think that's the big bloat on their streaming side right now. Not a lot of people want that ESPN Plus action as far as an on-demand service. Most people are watching sports live or going to the bar and watching it. ESPN Plus really hasn't taken off, I think, the way that they thought it would. So...
Yeah, and on the Hulu side, they have Jalen Hulu has live sports. I mean, it's just the marketing wrote itself. The fact that Jalen's given name is Hulu has live sports. It's just.
I don't know if I like that one better or the Mahomes and Mahados.
The Mahomes and Mahado. Like I want Kelsey to wear the Mahado jersey to an actual game.
just once. Just wear the Mahado jersey just once.
Please.
Jingle Cruise begins November 3rd at Magic Kingdom. Jingle Cruise is the holiday special version of the Jungle Cruise that we all know and love. A lot of the same jokes, just with peppermint smells. Disney buying Comcast 33% stake. One last thing, we've got over in Paris, if my back button will work. There we go. Where'd it go?
Nobody wants to know about your back button, Matt.
I know. What happened? Where'd it go?
No one knows.
I know. I don't know. Oh, there it is.
Disneyland
Paris has shared new concept art for the upcoming daytime show, Disney Symphony of Colors, the spiritual successor to Dream and Shine Brighter. Launches February 10th, 2024. Lots of cool, bright floats. If it's anything like Dream and Shine Brighter was, it will be fantastic. Dream and Shine Brighter was...
fantastic.
The Move It, Shake It dance party times 10. And yeah, it was really good. Run Disney events, if you are a Run Disney person, were posted through the 2025, some of the 2025 weekends now on the Run Disney website. There was a special Halloween Disneyland run that was added to the calendar that was not there previously. Very Merry Christmas Party Disney Eats post is up on the Disney blog, Disney Parks blog. Lots of good food on that. Go over to Disney Parks blog if you want to check out that stuff and salivate over some things. Disney Magnolia Golf Course will resume 18-hole routing November 15th. Now we have to go down and play golf. So,
we've said that multiple times. You and I have been down there twice. We've talked extensively about golf prior to going both times. And we have played golf exactly 0 times.
No, well, half a time.
We played a miniature version of golf.
It was like a 3/4. I mean, I could have used wedges.
Yeah, and then I tapped in on 18.
No, you did not.
The second time.
The second time.
Funny stuff.
All right. Well, that is the news, which means it is time for the famous DPI Top 3 episode.
Is it really famous?
What's that?
Is it really famous?
I don't know. I mean, people watch it, so.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, to me, that's kind of famous. So here we go.
I'm working on infamy.
Maybe work. Business trip. Did the people move her wrong? It does tingle a little bit. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast over on the other screen, looking excited as always. Peter with Princess and the Mouse Disney Travel. It is DPI Top 3 time. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't been here, what we're going to do is we are going to pull a poker chip out that has a number on it. On my spreadsheet, I've got a bunch of topics that correspond to these numbers, and we are going to have 20 seconds to figure out what is our favorites or what is our least favorites of that topic. Are you ready, Peter? Because we are doing number 4 tonight. Number 4. Okay. This is an interesting one. This is going to be one that we have to probably include the cues and pre-show as well. Favorite ride soundtracks. You ready?
Do you want to go to Disney? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse Travel, and I'd love to work with you on your amazing itineraries.
All right, so we're already back, and we have our favorite ride soundtracks, and we are going to go ahead and say right now that Small World is not going to be one of them.
Speak for yourself. No, I hate Small World so much. You're right.
Peter, why don't you go ahead and lead us off?
I've got 3 listed here. I'm trying to decide what order I want them to be in. And I'm also making sure that I didn't, inadvertently leave out a better one, you know? That's the risk here. The risk here is that I inadvertently left out a better one. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with a timeless classic. Over in Magic Kingdom, I'm going to start with Pirates of the Caribbean for one of my favorite soundtracks, because it has to make the list of the 6 that you and I are going to talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to get pinched out by me going, yeah, but I want that one. So let's just go ahead and start with a classic ride. Whether you're talking about land or world or abroad, it does not matter. Any Pirates of the Caribbean iteration has a phenomenal soundtrack, and it all hinges around the pirate's life being the penultimate aspect of that ride and that whole thing. The yo ho yo. I mean, it's just it gets stuck in your head, but not in a Small World type of way.
No. It does. It's not like earwormy.
Yeah, it gets stuck in my head in a way that I just walk around the park for the next hour and just be like, I'm like Swedish Chef singing Pirates So if we're talking about best soundtracks, I mean the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and that's not even just the pirate's life when you're in the village, but you've got the first area where you've got the stranded sailor, all of that, the whole beach scene, the seagull sounds, the waterfalls. I mean, it is just from start to finish, it is just a fantastic ride, and it is made fantastic by its wonderful soundtrack. So let's go with that for number 3. And Matt, why don't you tell us your number 3, and I'm going to try not to talk so long on each of the other ones.
No. I think talking long is good on them, because I think there's some that you really have to differentiate between like the soundtrack and like a speaking track. And where I'm going to go is kind of a combination of both. And I'm going to start number 3 being Living with the Land.
Oh, that's a good one.
Living with the Land has multiple areas where it's got that classic like new wave Epcot music in it. And it's just, it's really like, if you remember Epcot from 10, 15 years ago, you get that feeling when you ride Living with the Land. It's very much a conservation ride, but there are parts where this music just kind of kicks in, and it's just great music that goes with that ride. It just kind of moves that ride along to where it could be a very dull and boring, hey, look at these plants, hey, look at these fish. It's not. It ends up being a really, really good ride because it's got a fantastic soundtrack behind it. So my number 3 is definitely going to be Living with the Land. Let's go ahead and let's get to our number 2s.
Yeah, Living with the Land is a great one. So now we got a Magic Kingdom, we've got an Epcot, and I'm trying to I feel like you'll probably give us a Hollywood Studios one. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is not one that and if not, I could probably pick one in Hollywood Studios. It's got a pretty good soundtrack. But I'm going to go ahead and make sure every park gets a little bit of love, right? I just like to do that on the top 3s, even though it may not necessarily be my top 3. I don't know. This is a good one. This is a really good one. Kind of on that same topic of like earwormy. Not the longest ride, not even necessarily it's not the most exciting. It's arguably not the best boat ride, but I am going to talk about the soundtrack of Navi River Journey. Right? The soundtrack for Navi River Journey is phenomenal. First of all, the ride atmosphere is amazing because you're in the dark, you've got black lights, you've got these there's neon things and glowing things and very exotic creatures and exotic plants, and you've got all of this stuff. And throughout the whole ride, you've got this sort of rhythmic undertone to everything that's happening around you, as you're also hearing the wildlife sounds and the animal sounds and the night of Pandora. And this rhythmic undertone is just still kind of just sitting there, just kind of, you just notice it, but you don't understand why. Until you start to really get to where that rhythmic undertone is emanating from, and that is that shaman of the Na'vi. And you want to talk about remarkable animatronic, remarkable wow, the first time that it hits you. And the song that she is singing is so I mean, I can sit here right now and I could Angare Isa Maewa Maewa. It is such a good song. And again, Navi River Journey, I don't think gets a lot of love. If you told me what are your favorite boat rides, I don't know if I would list Navi River. But if you're talking best soundtracks, the thing that makes the ride experience is the song, Navi River Journey, I think, has to make this list because that shaman and the song that kind of permeates through the ride and then is the crescendo of the ride is just absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go and give a little bit of love over to Animal Kingdom because I can't name another ride in Animal Kingdom where I'm wow, what a soundtrack. I think...
Yeah, I mean, unless you go Flight of Passage just because of but it's just not, there's not a ton.
Yeah, that's not really the soundtrack though. I mean, that's right. That's the wow. That's the visual experience.
Yeah.
Tommy River Journey, it's that soundtrack. When you say, hey, tell me about really good soundtracks, I'm thinking like positive earworms.
Yeah. Things that you're coming off that ride and you're singing for a while after.
And when I ride Navi River Journey, man, I Dunga for the rest of the stinking day.
All right,
Matt, hit us with your number 2.
So my number 2, you said I was going to hit a Hollywood Studios one. I am going to hit a Hollywood Studios one, and let's go with Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios. We don't know how long Aerosmith's going to be around on the Rock and Roller Coaster. There's been rumors for years that they are going to sign away the rights to their soundtrack being used on that. Basically, when they signed it originally, it was forever. So they're trying to figure that out. But there is a group of songs, a group of Aerosmith songs that play on the roller coaster as you are in your stretch limousine trying to make it to the concert. My favorite is Love in an Elevator. Do you have a favorite when it comes to...
I was just actually hitting the bass line for that song.
I mean, I think when it comes to that ride, there aren't many bad ones because Aerosmith, fantastic band, but it's definitely a pioneering type of ride as well, having that music in your ear while you're on the ride. Just a really, really cool ride there in the dark, and again, more neons and that kind of stuff, but no, really, really fantastic ride. So my number 2 is going to be Rock and Roller Coaster. Let's go ahead and get to our number 1s. Peter, before you get to your number 1, where can people find you?
Find me over on Facebook, as many people have, as I was talking about in the news show for tonight. Got a bunch of 2024 people booking up. Lots of January, February stuff. What happened?
Shannon said, I'm sorry, Matt, that is incorrect. Your favorite is Dude Looks Like a Lady.
There we go. Anyway, so now is absolutely the right time to grab your spring break trip, 100%. Spring break trips, early summer trips, let's get that thing going. If you know you want to go fall break next year, never too soon to grab the fall break or the holiday times as well. But obviously, like right now, dining is booking into January, which means you want to get on those spring break plans so that you can start wrapping your mind around it, so that when the time comes to book January and early February, that you are ready to rock and roll. Oh, see what I did there?
All right. So Peter, with that being said, where are you going with your number 1?
I'm going back to Magic Kingdom to Haunted Mansion.
That's a really good one too.
I'm like, that one I wrote down first, and I was like, I can't make it number 3, which is why I said, you know what, let's go with Pirates. Haunted Mansion. I mean, that's just a soundtrack. Right?
It is.
From everything, right? Everything. From the moment you get in and you've got the ghost host with his macabre sounding baritone, where cryptors creak and haunted chambers. I mean, it's just, and then you just get taken through. I mean, that soundtrack is just themed to the rooms. You've got the wind and the howling and the creaking and the scratching, and then you've got the Madame Leota's room, and you've got the ballroom at the swinging wake, and then obviously as you come down into the cemetery, the iconic portion of that is obviously the grim grinning ghosts portion of it. But yeah, if you want to talk about a soundtrack of a ride, like that is the type of soundtrack where if you turn that soundtrack on and I sit down and listen to it, I can close my eyes and I'm on the doom buggy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I am, okay, so now I'm right here. Oh, okay, so now I'm looking at the bride. Oh, okay, now I'm tilted backwards coming down into the graveyard.
Yeah.
You know, like, So yeah, for number one, I gotta give the edge over to Haunted Mansion for the best soundtrack in Walt Disney World. If we're talking about Walt Disney World, because we tend to just do these top threes for Disney World.
Yeah, we do, but I think Haunted Mansion's another one where, like you talked about Pirates, when you go park to park to park to park, even when you get overseas, those soundtracks for Haunted Mansion are absolutely fantastic. Whether it's Phantom Manor or whatever, they're really, really good. And it's a testament to just the storytelling. It's storytelling in a different way. So, no, they do real well. A little bit off topic. Have you seen the new Haunted Mansion movie?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm scared.
It's not bad.
Good. I want it to be good. Like the Eddie Murphy one let me down so hard.
This one won't let you down. It's got enough to keep you in it. I'll leave it that way. So it's worth the watch. It's worth the watch. All right. My number one. Man, I can actually go about 3 ways with this.
Okay, we'll give you a +1. So now
I'm not going to go a +1.
No, it's okay. I cheat all the time.
My number one's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's a good. Well, yeah.
And we've had a couple of songs on it. My favorite's September. It's awesome, but I think that's another one of those rides where the music really makes the ride. They've picked very good songs to go with that ride to not only change the way the ride feels to you, but just give you a different sensation, because all that music that they've picked is kind of like a driving music. It really makes that ride feel more intense than it really is. And just a really, really cool experience if you haven't done it yet. So my number one is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. That is our top 3 tonight. Good top 3, Peter. Get this up here in a couple days. And
Rule the World's really good too. You mentioned September. Rule the World is just it's just kind of a fun song on that ride. It's Congress.
It's songs that I mean, our generation, it's like these are all belt out songs that we should know. So, but yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys all for watching. We are going to get into a deep dive here. So if you're going to stick around, it's time to dive. All right, it is deep dive time on the DPI podcast. I'm Matt. Here in a second, I'll get Peter with Princesses and the Mouse, Disney travel, and we will be doing topic number 7 on the deep dive tonight. Topic number 7 is going to be... Hey, we just talked about that. It is a ride. It is an Epcot. It is Living with the Land. And we're going to deep dive Living with the Land. So... here we go. Hey, what's going on, Peter? We've got a deep dive tonight, and tonight's deep dive is going to be Living with the Land over at Epcot. I'll go ahead and start.
Living with the Land get towards the start of the list. I want to know that. This is only like deep dive number 5. When you and I were making the list, I know we were specifically like, well, let's not give all the like marquee ones, but like we both love Living with the Land though.
We do. And we have a ride video for it, so it makes sense. So
yeah, it just does not get
after we talk about a minute and a half about Living with the Land, Watch the ride video. We'll have fun with that. All right.
No way, man. I got 10 minutes on Living with the Land. Let's go.
All right. So where is Living with the Land? Living with the Land is in Epcot. It is in the Land Pavilion. It is in the lower level of the Land Pavilion, which means you have to go down the stairs.
You live with it.
Yeah, you got to live with it. It is under Garden Grill, which is kind of a neat aspect to it. Once you get downstairs, it's going to be to the left of... What is that?
Seasons
Grill. And it just a small queue line, never really has a huge queue wait for it. So, Peter, why don't you tell us a little bit about what type of ride it is?
Yeah. Living with the Land is a slow-moving boat ride. Similar to Three Caballeros, if you're familiar with that ride as well. Similar to Small World, if you're familiar with that one. Kinda, but obviously Pirates of the Caribbean has a little bit more excitement with a drop, so I won't classify it along with Pirates of the Caribbean. So, slow-moving boat ride. I think the rows... So it's two boats that are kind of hitched together, and I think the boats have about 6 to 8 rows in them. Fit about 3 or 4 people per row. But as Matt said, never really a big wait time, and so you can pretty easily walk up, even on a busy day, with a family of 4 and be like, "We'd like 2 rows, please." And they're like, "Okay, whatever. Take 3." Right? So that's kind of the ride setup. You leave the station and our ride along, because we have this recorded. As I said, it's fitting that this is towards the front, because this is a ride that just does not get the love that it deserves, because it is, if anything, this and maybe Spaceship Earth are, I would say, the top 2 rides that epitomize what Epcot was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a celebration of knowledge, a look into the world around us, a place where you push the boundaries to new frontiers, and then ultimately it turned into a theme park. So, on that topic, so you head out and you first get greeted with some rainforest and some kind of water cycle information. You come around and you see like the American plains and the American farmhouse and some little just sort of like scenes there. The narrator's kind of talking you through like the American buffalo paved the fertile soil of the land. You know, so you're kind of like getting the background into like crop info, right?
The
like
history of farming, basically.
Yeah. Essentially, like the farmland that we use today was the way was paved through these various things. Then as you continue moving forward, you get to, we'll call it like the greenhouses. And in the greenhouses, you move through a variety of greenhouses. The narrator's going, and that's just kind of, this is what makes the ride, is all of those greenhouses, right? You're going along and you've got all of these different things and you've got all these different grow techniques and the narrator's talking about all these different grow techniques. You go through a little fishery because like you don't normally think about aquaculture when you think about farming, but
yeah.
The fact of the matter is like most of our fish is through farming. We farm fish. And then you move into like this sort of experimental farming area where they're looking at like growing it in low water areas and low sunlight areas, in high water areas, in vertical columns to save space, and just thing after thing after thing, right? And that's where it's kind of cool because you see there's a working lab inside of this ride where science researchers are researching growing techniques to try and improve the farming and the growing of crops around the world. And you kind of come into a few more scenes. The kind of like hit home live with the land and live sustainable, and then you kind of finish it up. So, yep, slow moving boat ride. Ultimately, though, in these like god awful, gaudy green plastic seats that like you gotta like contort yourself into, and then hope you're kind of comfortable. And you gotta like cross your legs on the ground and all that stuff. So, I don't know, Matt. Tell us a little. I don't know what else do we talk about with living with the land.
I think there's some interesting facts that go with living with the land. All the food that is produced in the greenhouses is used within Walt Disney World Resort somewhere, in their menus, at their hotels, as part of their displays. They grow basically everything that they use for decoration for food in the parks as much as they can. And a lot of it comes from these greenhouses and these techniques that they're using in these greenhouses. We were just there for food and wine, and this is the first year that I've really noticed it, but through those greenhouses they had a bunch of signs that actually pointed out this plant is being used in this dish at this kiosk, which was really cool. And Shannon thought that was really interesting as well. So I think it's just one more thing that kind of ties you into the ride of, oh, well, maybe I go and get this because I know that it uses this ingredient that came from the greenhouse. So, no, really cool things there. Great ride if you need to escape a rainstorm. You get a 15-minute queue line and a 15-minute ride. That's a half hour. That's about enough time for the clouds to rain themselves out. And then you can go back out and get your wet stroller and enjoy the rest of your day. But no, when it does rain, all the pavilions over on that side of the park get relatively full. They are safe havens for the people that want to stay dry. So just be aware of that. So a lot of people are going to have the same idea. Other thing that you have to think about is this ride does share the same building with two other attractions. First is going to be Soarin', that's down on that lower level. The other is going to be Incredible Earth.
Raging Earth.
Raging Earth?
Raging Earth? I think it's Raging Earth.
Yeah. Which is a film that's up on the upper level, kind of around the corner from Garden Grill. So there are quite a few things. It does have a quick service eatery and a sit-down.
It's Awesome Planet.
Awesome Planet. We were close.
But it's basically raging, because it's like all the movie is about like how nature's getting more and more destructive because it's mad at our human impacts.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway.
So Seasons Grill down on the lower level. You have Garden Grill up on the upper level. So it is a relatively busy hub when you think about this compared to the other two pavilions that are over on that side. It has the most to offer, so it tends to draw the biggest crowds.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else about living with the land, Peter?
Yeah, so you kind of touched on this. What I really enjoy about living with the land is every festival, which at this point is basically at all times throughout the year, right? You roll out of Festival of the Arts and basically have a couple-week gap before Flower and Garden. You roll out of Flower and Garden basically straight into Food and Wine. You roll out of Food and Wine straight into Festival of the Holidays. What I love about living with the land is they changed the decor inside of those greenhouses, as Matt kind of touched on. During Food and Wine, they highlight where these ingredients are being used. During Flower and Garden, they put signs up and things, and they add in more floral stuff, and they put signs up and now they're talking more about like really good horticulture things. If you're looking for like good displays and, oh, these are really friendly for butterflies and, that type of stuff. But during Festival of the Holidays, they put a bunch of like Christmas lights and Christmas decor and all of these types of things in there. So there's always fitting with the festival. Living with the land themes itself to the time of year in the festival that's going on, which is really fun. And then just a couple other things about living with the land. If you are a hidden Mickey enjoyer, you are gonna love living with the land, because living with the land has tons of hidden Mickeys as you work your way through there. I'm not going to tell you where they are, but I can tell you there are a bunch of hidden Mickeys all throughout Living with the Land. And then maybe the last noteworthy thing is, I'm going to call this the Gateway Tour, because in Living with the Land, in those greenhouses, is the Behind the Seeds Tour. And so if you are a frequent Disney goer, but you have never gone on the tours, because there's lots and lots of tours.
There are.
I call Behind the Seeds the Gateway Tour, because it's not very expensive. You can typically book it same day, but it sort of introduces you to a new side of Disney, an informative and educational side of Disney that otherwise you miss if you're just kind of going from attraction to attraction to attraction and just trying to like get your money's worth on your park ticket. Because the tours are very, very informative and offer many amazing, unique things. There's a fantastic Wild Africa trek over in Animal Kingdom that I can highly recommend. There used to be a Taste of Magic Kingdom tour that I hope comes back.
A holiday tour.
Yeah, the holiday tour where you get to learn about the warehouses that flip over, all of the storage and all of that. Lots and lots of tours. So Behind the Seeds is housed right there. You leave Living with the Land, and as you are walking out of its exit, the Behind the Seeds desk is right there on the right to book tours and check in for tours. So I think, and you kind of mentioned Garden Grill. What's cool about Garden Grill, and this is more on the Garden Grill side, but the look down into Living with the Land, because as you rotate, you can see the rainforest scene, you can see the prairie scene, you can see the American farmhouse scene, which is kind of cool as well. But that's more on the Garden Grill side, but still ties into Living with the Land. So, as I said, I don't think this attraction gets enough love. Really?
No, I don't think it does either. I think it's a very well done attraction. It does hit on those themes that Epcot was supposed to be built on, and I think it's a really good way to, if you've got some time that you're like, hey, what do we need to do, or what can we do before a reservation? It's a great thing to do before a reservation. So,
yeah, we go to Living with the Land most days that we're in Epcot. In comparison, over in Magic Kingdom, we'll go trips without going on Winnie the Pooh and Small World and Teacups and the Autotopia.
Tomorrowland Speedway.
Yeah. Oh, Autotopia is Disneyland.
Yeah. Where does this rank boat rides for you?
Like in the whole park, or like in the whole 4 parks?
Yeah, in the whole 4 parks.
Hold on, I gotta go through all the boat rides.
Yeah.
You have to answer this question too.
For me, I think it's probably not in the same ilk of Pirates. Or
yeah, and I'm thinking same thing, right? Is it fair to compare this to Pirates and Frozen and Kali River Rapids? And I think no. I think those are in a separate class, right?
Yeah.
But if I compare this thing to, so what would be in its class? If I compare this thing to Small World,
Navi Small World,
yeah, Navi River Journey, and trying to think of what other slow moving boat rides are there? Hollywood Studios does not have any slow moving boat rides. Magic Kingdom,
I think that's it.
Yeah, we got Small World. It's funny because you have 3. Oh, we forgot 3 Caballeros.
Oh, 3 Caballeros. Okay, yeah.
Funny, you have, in terms of boat rides, you have 3 in Epcot, and you have 3 total around the rest of property. But okay, so let's just kind of talk about that. I would absolutely ride Living with the Land over 3 Caballeros all day, every day, 100% of the days until they retheme it for Coco. Blech.
Yeah,
And same. So Navi River Journey, what Living with the Land has going for it is duration, where Navi River Journey has a big long line and a relatively short ride. Living with the Land has the exact opposite. It has a nice, relaxing, like you talked about it, like escape from the storm, settle down in the middle of a hot day. It is fantastic for that. So, sure, would Frozen and Pirates of the Caribbean and would that beat it out? Absolutely. But like Living with the Land and Jungle Cruise are just these like nostalgic, awesome rides that, sure, they're not thrilling, they're not exciting, they're just good. They're just good experiences. So
yeah, I think they're on that. It's one of those rides that we do every trip as well. So it's just one of those rides you do because you enjoy it. It fits usually a narrative that we need. Either it's hot and we need to get out of the sun for a little while, or we're up there and we're like, well, what are we going to do before we eat at Garden Grill? Or, it's just one of those things, and we always end up on it. But no, great ride. I would put it probably right in the middle. Like, you've got your adventure boat rides where you've got the thrill aspect to it, like the Frozen and the Pirates and that kind of stuff. Like you said, it doesn't go with those. But when it comes down to the slower boat rides, it's probably, between this and Jungle Cruise at the top of that list. So, if you enjoy Jungle Cruise, you'll probably enjoy this in a completely different way. So, yeah.
Yeah, because you enjoy the nuance. You enjoy the experience. You don't need the cheap thrills in order to... But that's why you're at Disney in the first place. If you're a big Disney person, you're not looking for cheap thrills.
No, you're looking for that all around that whole experience. So, no... Right. Great ride. Peter, thanks for joining us for this DPI Deep Dive. Everybody, stick around. I'm going to put the ride video right after this, and you guys can watch that and enjoy it and let us know what you think about Living with the Land.
Make sure you're sitting in a recliner with your feet up. Like, you got to take in the whole correct
put on the
ride.
Surround sound. We got good audio on it. Just go for it. All right. Well, thank you guys all for joining us this week for the DPI live show. If you do have any questions, definitely put them in the chat, put them in the comments, or reach out to us over on Facebook. Thank you guys all for watching. We will talk to you next Tuesday, hopefully. Bye now. Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel joined us today. We talked Disney news, we did a top 3, and a Disney deep dive. On social media, you can find us in a lot of places. Easiest is going to be over on Facebook at DPI Podcast for the show page, at PATM Disney Travel for the travel side. Want to have some fun, go over to Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, at Disney Insights. We have an Instagram page at Princesses and the Mouse as well. Thank you guys all for watching, listening, liking, sharing, everything that you do to help promote the show. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you